Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today I'm joined by another very special guest, Kim Berg, who is joining us from Sweden. If I talk about Kim, then he is currently serving as a Chief Technology Officer and a dual Microsoft MVP in AI and IoT. He has worked across data centers, modern platform engineering, and Azure transformation, and also for the enterprise AI architecture. So, in today's episode, we will talk about the real work behind enterprise AI delivery and the importance of community communication contribution. But before we proceed further with this, I would like to thank Kim for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. So happy to be here. Look forward to this conversation. Yeah, my name is Kim Berg. Berg actually is Swedish. If you translate it to English, it's mountain. So a lot of the branding that I do is mountain in the name. Just so if you see me somewhere like social media wise or something, I usually do that as a reference because yeah, it's quite funny. But as you said, I am the CTO for Data and AI for Sogeti Sweden, and we are part of the Capgemini group. So not that many. It's not that well of a known name, Sogeti, but we're part of the Capgemini group. So Sogeti, we're around 20,000 or so in the world, and 1,300 in Sweden. But yeah, the Capgemini group, 420,000 colleagues I have all around the world. But as you mentioned, also around that, I'm also a dual MVP within both AI and IoT. I've been that for 2 years now. I'm just all about being the enabling role. So as you mentioned shortly about my background, I really like to enable others. So I have a background within ops, like hosting data centers, and every kind of role I've taken, it's always about enabling others. That's what I'm really passionate about. I do that in lots of different ways.
Yes. In fact, there are so many things from where we can start because you have worked with so many different domains. But let's start from the beginning itself because currently you are serving as a CTO. Even I would say the one of the most well-known CTO. But your journey started at a service desk, right? With no formal IT education, and now you are serving as a dual Microsoft MVP and CTO. So I just wanted to know, like, what was the moment when you realized that this cloud actually be a career for you? This could be actually a career for you, and what kept you going when, like, others might have leaned towards a degree or they particularly focus about a core expertise in that area.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I don't have any formal education at all within IT. The education I have is actually as an electrical and energy engineer. So before I went into IT, I worked as an electrician, and I did a lot of like automation work. So a little bit of the automation work, it's translating a little bit into the IT world, I would say. But not only that, I mean, even though I don't have any formal education, I've always been super interested about technology. So I mean, I built my first sort of like a data center at home in my closet when I was really young. So I always had a real like interest of the technology and the nitty gritties of technology as well. So just building infrastructure and actually understanding infrastructure at a really core level was something I was really early to do. And I just got the opportunity. Somebody actually believed in me a little bit, and I got my first role into first like a project pretty much in a service desk. So it's just like a migration from Windows XP to Windows 7 for one of the public sector in Sweden. So that was just the start where I got into, and it just they saw my potential. So I'm just super
Yes.
grateful and happy about that, because they just noticed that I was really passionate about it. I was a really good. They thought I was a really good problem solver, because I mean I had to do that in my previous job as well. So I just had a natural talent for the work, I guess, and it just showed. So I just worked my way up, and I always been like a lifelong learner. So even though I don't have a degree, I'm always like keeping myself updated. So I mean, even though I don't have like the formal part, I would say I've done more studies than most have, either way. So
Correct.
because at the same time, I think at least my first, it was even more in the beginning. Now it's not as much because I don't need as much, but during the first, could it be like at least 5 to 10 years or so, I studied as much as I worked, I would say, because I did things every day and studied something new. If it wasn't like the nitty gritties of how the Linux kernel is built up, it was like about networking or virtualization or something. So always studied a lot. So I mean, I think that has been part of the success why I've been able to do it without a degree, pretty much. So it just kept me going because I love what I do.
You know what? Like person like you prove that a degree hardly matters. What matters really is the passion, the will to contribute to the community, because as you mentioned, like you started your journey as an electronic person or expert, and then later you turned it into the IT industry, and now everyone can see the way you have contributed to the industry, whether as a CTO or as a Microsoft MVP. So it's, we can clearly see the passion, and it's quite interesting journey that you followed so far. Like started from electrical department, now you have worked with almost every domain of IT industry. And you have and also like there are few technical thing that we are going to discuss in the later go, that you discover in the very early, like those who are with the degrees, they even don't discover it in that early phases, which you discovered in your initial days. So that's quite a very
Mm.
inspiring journey for the audience, I'm sure. So, okay. So, Kim, let's talk about the cloud, because this is something that we can clearly see in the your background also. So, we just wanted to know, like you discovered the cloud almost a decade ago, with your passion, of course. So, what did you see in the Azure that others around you might have missed at that initial time? And how did you currently position yourself to the right that wave early in the initial phase of that of your career?
Yeah, and I mean, it was quite. I was. I never had just went into different areas. It's always been on purpose, I would say, when I done things like that. So when I saw things about the cloud, it was. I mean, going back a little bit before I went into that, I was also really into like cluster computing really early.
Okay.
So before I went like fully into cloud things, I actually did like cluster compute things, the first parts where you could actually do it properly in production. I had some cases around that I actually did with some clients. And so I went really deep into how cluster computing actually works,
Mhm.
like actually understanding the underlying infrastructure. Now everything is built up from the scratch.
Okay.
And when I did that, I saw like, but the biggest limit on this is how you actually scale it. So like on the actual like data center parts, because I mean running a data center, which was the thing I did before I went into cloud, it's hard. I mean managing a data center, it's so many things you need to be aware of,
Correct.
and then so many things you need to do properly. And I mean just the amount to make it fully like resilient and to make it actually like being able to fail over things, it's such a big of an investment that you need to do to make that work properly. if you want it on the scale that it can be. I mean, if you want full like resiliency. So I really saw early when I saw the first parts where Azure actually came out. I mean, it had been out for some time, but it was a little bit then more being actually usable, I would say, because in the early stages, it wasn't that good. The latency was horrible, to be honest, network-wise. And there wasn't a lot of services either. You only had like virtual machines. That was the only thing that was in there pretty much. But I just saw the potential, even though that it only was like virtual machines and networking and some simpler service in the beginning, that, okay, this is actually solving the issue that I was having, that to actually be able to scale it or have it fail over. Because I mean, how they build their data center is quite impressive, which is not something you usually think about, because you don't need to think about it. That's the good part about it. Okay. So it actually has like regions that fail over to each other, data centers fail over to each other seamlessly. So just that full way of how they do it, I just thought it was so impressive. And I saw that, okay, this is like the way to go forward. Because if you do it properly, it's even cheaper as well than actually running it by yourself. Because all the personnel that you need to do that, and the hardware cost, everything, it's a massive cost. Of course, you can argue the other way around if you do it properly as well. But just in general, I think the cloud can be cheaper if you do it properly. So I just saw that really, really early, and it solved a lot of the problems that I saw that I had before myself. So I just went into it and again, learned everything I could about it, like how is actually Azure built up? Like how is the foundational layer of our infrastructure working? So I started out with like the components of networking and DNS, and understood that really, really deeply in the beginning. And then how are they running their compute, how everything works in that sort of sense. So again, that's just my approach. No matter what I do, I really go into it deep and try to understand it fully. So
Yes. So, Kim, like you mentioned about the cluster computing, which you learned from the scratch itself, right? So, was there any challenges for you because you came from the completely different background from electronics, and then you started learning cluster computing from scratch itself? So, was there any particular roadmap that you followed to learn this, or was there any person who helped you throughout this journey?
not in the beginning, I would say.
Okay.
I mean, I looked at some, of course, I saw some like earlier YouTube videos or that sort of thing, like actually online looking at things.
Okay.
So some guides on how you can do it, but there wasn't like any defining thing that actually helped me out with it. I just went hands on with it and actually tried to understand everything. So tried to break things on purpose and like actually saw how it was built up. So no proper like course or thing I took or a specific path. I just went head first into it and tried it out pretty much.
Okay, so we can clearly say that it's all your passion that navigates you towards the right direction throughout your journey. Okay,
Yeah, I would say so.
all right. And if we talk about your career path so far, so your journey goes from the data centers to modern platform engineering to enterprise AI. So, looking back, what's the thread that you believe that connects all of it? Because these have worked separately, right? So, what was the thread that connects all of it? And did you plan that kind of arc in your journey? Like, yes, you are going to achieve or work with these areas, or did it happen organically by the time?
A little bit of both, I would say. I always had, I'm really good at setting goals and trying to like navigate and actually realizing where I want to go and what I want to do. I always have a goal in mind when I do things. So it's not just by fluke, but in some cases it's been, of course, opportunistic. That some kind of opportunity came up and I just like, yeah, sure, let's go, like right into it. Because I would say, I mean, just the first part when I went into cloud as well, it was that somebody, again, I'm happy about it, but they believed in me. But I only had like theoretical knowledge about it because I hadn't actually done it properly with a client. I had like hands-on experience, but not with clients, which is what everybody's looking for, of course.
Right.
So I had a hard time doing that, but I got the opportunity and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go, and just went right into it. I didn't know what to expect, but that's the thing. I like being uncomfortable. So it's like if I'm challenged and if I start a day by like, I have no clue how I will do this. I love that. I really, really like that. So it's just I'm comfortable being uncomfortable, I would say. But the the thread between all of it, where it's gone for me. I would say I mentioned it briefly, but it is about enabling, I would say. Because data center wise, in the earlier parts, it was more about like the ITIL approach, like actually just taking incidents, change requests, that sort of work, like standard IT operational work, I would say, how it has been before. But quite early, I saw that no, because if you're in that kind of mindset, you just think about it that you're building it pretty much for yourself. You're feeling that I own this,
Right.
but you don't really. I mean, you're building it for somebody else.
Yes.
It's somebody else that's going to build value on top of what you're doing. So I quite early came to that like mindset. Okay, my role is an enabler. I don't do it for me. It's for somebody else. I want others to succeed the best they can. So I went into that kind of mindset really, really early. Some still struggle to do that within like the more traditional like ops parts of it, but I'm a firm believer that the modern ops role is all about that. It's about enabling. You should be part of everything, just making others better, pretty much. And so every time I transitioned into another kind of technology area, if it was like from data center to cloud, I just saw, okay, how can I help people better when I go here? And the same when I went more into like data AI, that sort of technology area. I also saw that, okay, what is it that these kinds of roles need? And actually, my approach, how I've always done that, is that I try to put myself in their shoes, so to say. So I really try to understand how they work. And to do that, I of course need to learn how do they work then. So how do they actually work things? So in some of the earlier cases when it went into the AI domain for me, I actually went so deep that I took a couple of like data science roles in some projects. So I went that deep into it that I could actually handle a data science role in a project. But that wasn't the purpose or the main goal for me to go that route. I still wanted to go back to ops. So, but I want to understand it that good. So I actually know exactly, okay, these are the struggles this role have. This is what you actually need to do to make it work properly. So I think that is I haven't heard that many others say it that way, but that's how I do it at least. So I actually deep down into the actual role, try to make it work like that. So same as a data engineer, I try to understand, okay, how do you do this kind of line of work? Like fully, can I actually do it myself? Then I'm at a good point. Now I can lean back again and become the ops person that enables this kind of role. So yeah, that's my kind of approach. And that's the line in between all of these roles, what I always had.
Yeah, and that mindset is also very important. The way you start thinking, like it is not only for yourself, like you are building it for someone else, and that helps you to understand their requirement, and accordingly you tailor the solution, right? So
Yeah.
one more thing I want to ask you, because you also worked as a solution architect, where you worked with different domains like defense, manufacturing, engineering, and also the public sector. So throughout your journey, like you are constantly switching contexts, right, from multiple roles. So how do you avoid building the same kind of architecture? Because you are a solution architect, you are going to build the architecture for all the domains. So how do you like usually avoid building the same architecture twice, and actually you tailor the solution to the wildly different industries according to their need, not the similar kind of solution for them.
Yeah, I think because I mean some parts, of course, is reusable in between different kinds of domains. I mean,
Okay.
processes and how things like flows and that sort of way usually becomes quite similar. But just the actual solution you're picking is super dependent on how does your ecosystem already look like? How can I adopt to that? So because I mean you don't want to go in and like this is the best solution architecture, but it doesn't fit anything that you have. I mean then it's worthless because then you need to rebuild everything. No, nobody's going to do that. It's too costly. So it's just I think again I'm leaning back on my like enablement approach and actually listening and understanding people. I do that on the sort of the business layer as well. So how I pass between like technology and business, actually understanding what the clients I'm working for, what is their need. So I always go. So just to mention that when I go into a new client that I haven't worked with before, I usually go in and actually research them really, really deeply and understand what is the like main thing that this company does.
Okay.
How do they earn money? What are they doing actually? Or what is their purpose, like fully? And then I always go and properly understand their strategy. Okay, so what is your target? Where are you going?
Hmm.
And then
Right.
I try to connect that into like, okay, but what are you lacking then? What are your capabilities? So I talk to usually their enterprise architects, because that's
Correct.
their layer, what they're doing. So I go talk to them and understand, okay, how does your how does your ecosystem look like? Where are you right now? Where are you going? What do you think? What's missing? What gaps do you have? And then I take that into consideration when I build everything. So I try to have a really high approach on, so I'm actually understanding where they're going as a company, and then make that into the solution. And because it is like that, it always will be different, because yeah, there is different kind of context, how much legacy you have, la la la, so many things. But I think that is, and it really comes back because it's the same kind of approach which I have for technology. I also have that and get that into the business side of it to actually understand companies as well, I think.
Okay. So I think we can summarize it in a way that firstly you identify what are the common things between the different domains that you are working with. You figure out that, and later on, as per the requirement, you just start finding out like what where they are lagging about, and what are the lags and the place where the solution needs to be tailored, and accordingly you tailor the things as per their technical
Yeah.
needs and programmatically needs. Okay.
Yeah, and always try to connect it back to where is the company actually going. So I don't
Going
build
the
things that
direction.
just work in this little bubble. I wanted to help the company in a bigger picture usually.
Correct, correct. Yeah, that is also important. Okay. All right. So now we will talk about the leadership because in this era, like we know that everyone is talking about AI, right? So from your experience, because you have worked on enterprise scale at AI with large Swedish company also. So what's the gap you often see between the leadership things AI will do for them and what it actually takes throughout the process to deliver that real impact or maybe the measurable impact. So what are the difference between these two things?
Yeah. I mean, it's so many things within this, so I'll try to keep it as short as I can, because I think this is a really big area to talk
Yes.
about in general. But I mean, some of the things that I think is the most important right now, which I would say it comes up in every discussion I have with leadership in every kind of company, no matter the domain or what they're doing at all. I would say leadership usually just thinks, but yeah, but just do AI, do AI. That's all I hear all the time. But
Correct.
and then I always ask back, like, to solve what? What do you want it to do? I mean, what are the problems that we're going to try to target with AI? Um, and in a lot of cases, I see it's not AI. I mean, that's not what they want or what they need actually at all. So I think
Mhm.
too many people right now, because it is so hyped as well, it's just you need to do AI. Everybody feels that, but it's
Yes.
just trying to figure out, but what is the things that you actually need to solve? And if it is something that is suitable to solve with AI, go ahead, do it. But the biggest hurdles I see companies have is organizational structures. How do you actually organize your company and how does it work? Because it hinders so many companies to make it be able to use any kind of AI. Just how their teams are structured, the organizational layers. I mean, just they're they're making silos everywhere. A lot of companies, at least when they're bigger, like enterprise, they're like completely siloed. And because they are siloed, the data is also siloed, which is like, yeah, good luck building things with AI if you can't get the right context. That's like everything for AI, getting the context right. So they're building data silos, they're siloing their own company, they have a hard time collaborating over things. Then it becomes this like IT and the business side, they're split. And IT want to do AI, but the business is the ones that actually need it, but they don't know how, they don't communicate. So yeah, the organizational part, it's such a big hurdle for so many companies as well. And it's hard to do it, but I think you need to adopt and you need to be let go of like old ways of doing things in a lot of cases, because yeah, it's just hindering you, I would say, if you stay in that old kind of mindset too much. And I think that's the biggest problem right now.
Yes. And how do you see the future? Because this is very hot question nowadays. Like everyone is talking about that it is going to take the job of software engineers or IT industry. So, what is your opinion? Like, is it going to impact the job? If yes, then how? And if no, what could be the reasons behind that? What is your opinion?
Yeah, I think it will impact every job, not just software engineers. I think software engineers is just the first ones that people see right now.
I
But
agree.
that's the thing as well. I think it will impact software engineers on certain parts of what software engineers are doing. Because I mean, it's most the at least right now, it's the coding part of a software engineer. Because a software engineer, it's so much more than coding.
Okay.
So I think it's the software parts that is just you can be more efficient to a certain degree, dependent on what you're building and in what context. That's what it can do. But it's also, I mean, you still need to be a good problem solver. And again, to actually understand what you're building and for what. AI is not as good at that. Maybe it will be, or it's going that route. But I don't think anybody can just, nobody knows exactly where it's going with it. It's just a little bit of a guessing game of what you're thinking. And I think it will impact and make it different for every role. I think that it's just software engineers are in the spotlight right now, and they most likely will be the first ones that will be impacted, or they're already being impacted by it.
Agree.
But where it's going to go, I'm not really sure. I don't see that, at least for us. We haven't like fired any of our software engineers. We still need them as much, if not more.
Mhm.
It's just that, yeah. In the end, I'm leaning more into it will just be another tool in the end,
Correct.
but it will impact the roles a lot. So it's going to impact it. I'm not just sure fully how and in what way yet.
Right. And also, you just mentioned very important thing that it is not only going to impact the IT industry. So those who are from the other domain, they can also try to adopt this AI thing, and they can also try to utilize the AI skill in their jobs so that by the time they will adopt all the required stuff, and they can secure their job as well. So it is not only for the IT, but for everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving ahead, Kim, we will talk about some of the piece of advice that we wanted from you for the audience. Because let's say if someone is sitting at the service desk right now and curious, but not, but also unsure. So, what's the one honest piece of advice you would like to give them that you wish someone had given you earlier, or that they can follow in their life to pursue the career in a better way? So what piece of
Hmm.
advice would you like to share?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that because it took me some time, and I don't think you should rush it either. If you're going the approach that, I mean, you're trying to build your career,
Mhm.
I would say don't rush it.
Yeah,
It doesn't need to go super super fast. I mean, for me, in certain levels, it has gone fast, but not that. I mean, it's taken time for me to build it up, and I think it should, because that's how you like build actual experience and what you want to do as well. Because I mean, my biggest struggle was actually to figure out, okay, what is it I want to specialize in? What is the thing that I want to become like really really good at? And I think most people actually get stuck on that because it's really hard, especially when you're sitting on that level. And I mean, because if you're working in a service desk, you need to be super super broad. You need to know a lot of different things. But when it comes to like career advancements, at some point you need to make a decision. What do I want to be really really good at?
right.
So try to figure that out quite early. I think that is one of the best advices I can give, and also utilize mentorship as much as you can, because I did not do that earlier in my career, and I'm regretting that extremely much now afterwards, because when I started doing mentorships, since then I've continued doing it like all the time. So it's both that I have mentors for myself all the time, and I'm really trying to mentor as much people as I can as well myself, because it's been such a helpful thing for me. But I didn't understand that or knew about it that much earlier on in my career. So yeah, decide where you want to go and try to get a mentor. I would just say it's a really good thing to do.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I think it will help those who are into the service desk now, and also the other professionals, because this is just a mindset that anyone can follow. So
Yeah, and also, I mean, to decide where you want to go in a technology, don't just follow the hype. I
yes,
would
right.
also say that do something that you're passionate about yourself. So it because it shows so much. If it is something that you love and that you actually are passionate about, it shows. But if it is something that you're just trying to follow along, like, okay, what is the hottest topic right now? Where should I go? Dependent on that, don't just do it for the hype. Do it for something that you yourself actually believe in or where you want to go. That's a really important thing as well.
Correct, because if you are just following the trends, then at the end you will find difficulties in their job, because you just enter into the industry just to follow the trend, but later you realize that it is not your cup of tea, or you don't want to go further. So it's always better
Yeah.
to identify your potential, and according to that you can select the area where you want to contribute.
Mm.
Okay, so Kim, now let's talk about the community contribution, because other than technical stuff, you also invest in community building and community kind of activities. So, what do you think? Like, why it is so important for the IT person, or maybe someone from the non-IT also, to build a community or to invest in the community?
Yeah, I think I mean, it's all about giving back. I do it in a lot of different ways. I do a lot of conferences, lectures. I go around, do that all over the world, like travel quite a lot to do that, but also contribute to quite a lot of open source. Some of them has been quite big actually. The biggest one I would say is the enterprise scale AI factory, which is
Yes.
actually part of the like cloud adoption framework and well architected framework for how you should productionize AI, like officially by
Mm.
Microsoft. So yeah, it's been a really good success with that. But and I'm on that that's just open sourced. So yeah, I didn't get paid anything to do that. But it's just a thing. I mean, it's about giving back because I mean, I'm super grateful for where I am, and I think it's my way of just paying back that
Yeah.
to others. And it's not only like going around talking at conferences, open source. It's also about mentoring. Like as I said, I think it's super important. People that are passionate but need a bit of help, I want to help out. So I think it's just for me, it's all about giving back. Uh, yeah.
Great thing. Okay. All right. So, Kim, so far we talked about the technical things about AI and Azure cloud also. Now, I just want to take one question on the behalf of all those audience who came from the non-technical background. They don't know anything about AI or technical thing, but they are now interested to adopt it, right? Because we talked that it is going to impact their role also. So, can you share two, three example where like AI quietly saves the time in anyone's life? Simple thing, no coding, just a simple thing that any non-technical person can also adopt easily. So where they can start from?
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me, which I started using it right away when it came out. I mean, it's about like the deep research things that's available connected to models. I'm using that a lot, I would say, because again, when you like come into something new, like as I said, I'm really comfortable being uncomfortable, and I think deep research and just that way of researching has made it even simpler for me to do that. Because if I want to start researching something, I usually kick it off with like an actual like research agent and it's a simple one. I didn't code it. I just prompted it how it should work, and it's just prompted to how I learn better as well because everybody learns differently.
Yes.
So I'm using it quite a lot for that to research or get into new subjects that I'm unaware of. And it could be like non-technical, technical, whatever, a company if I want to research them or a new domain or whatever. I
Mm.
use that heavily, I would say. And also like everything connected to how I handle emails, meetings, that sort of thing. I have like a connected loop with all of that to make me more efficient with it because yeah, it's a big time saver as well. And it doesn't give me anything if I just sit and read emails or do that. And same in meetings, like doing meeting notes and that sort of thing. Just taking, I usually now do it with like the translator, because I use Microsoft products like Microsoft 365. So usually when I have a meeting, I turn on the agent for that is available, and I take the meeting notes, I get them into loop, and then I get it into planner. So it's just a full loop around. It's just making me more efficient. So those two things is like the biggest time saver, at least for me right now, and that's helpful for anybody, I would say.
Anyone, yeah. Okay. All right. So now, although like there are plenty of things that we can discuss on AI and cloud, but we are short on time, so I just want to take a couple of more questions before we wind up. So one question is for the support system, because everyone's life, in everyone's life, there is a support of network, right? So looking back on your own career, like who were the key people around you who helped you in your journey, or who had a defining impact on your journey so far?
Yeah, maybe not gonna mention names because there's too many, and I'm gonna miss somebody
Yes.
out if I do that. Probably it's hard to remember every name for it, but I mean it's just for every part. I mentioned two parts already that was really defining for me. Like the first IT job that I got into, I'm super grateful for them trusting in me. And same when I got into like the actual cloud architect role, that those that believed in me in that sense, when I only had the theoretical part but no like hands-on experience with clients. I'm super grateful for them actually believing in me. And one particular, yeah, because it was a smaller company as well called Molnbolaget at that time. They became Omega Point later on. But the two owners of that company really, yeah, they believed in me and they betted on me, and I'm super grateful for that. And at that same time, I actually went into a client engagement, and one of the other consultants working there from another company, I would say as well. He was one of my first mentors, actually, that I'm super grateful for as well. He's also an MVP, actually. It's been so for quite some time. I can mention his name at least. It's Stefan Ivemo. I'm super helpful for the help he did there for me at that time. And then, I mean, I've had people along the way all the time now. I had so many different mentors that have helped me so much. And in the end, I'm super grateful right now because I'm quite dedicated to my work, and as I said, I travel around for conferences quite a lot. So I'm extremely grateful for my lovely fiance that actually, yeah, keeps up with it and lets me do this. She supports me so much, and it would not be possible to do if I didn't have this support from her.
Correct. Okay. All right. So one more thing before we summarize the discussion, and we just wanted to know about the place you belong from. So what's the best thing about the Sweden? Although like there's so many best thing about Sweden, but one which is close to your heart that you feel proud to share with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and I would say it's impossible to pick just one, so I'll take two, but I will make it short. First off, just the innovation capabilities of Sweden is so impressive. I mean, we're not that big of a country. We don't have that many people. But if you just look at some of the companies that come from Sweden, a lot of them you wouldn't expect, I think. But there's so many like big innovation companies that got started in Sweden. I mean, just to mention a couple of them, Lovable, the latest now within AI, that is a Swedish startup from the beginning. And you have like things as Minecraft, Spotify, all of that. They all come from Sweden. So there's so many innovative, cool companies that have started in Sweden, which I'm super proud of. And secondly, just the nature of Sweden is something you cannot not mention. And just what kind of accessibility we have to nature. I mean, you're allowed to go out and camp a day anywhere in the country. You don't need any permit. You don't need to do anything. So it's just you have free access to nature all the time, and that's something I think, yeah, I'm super grateful for it, and I'm proud of that we have that.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Kim, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information about the AI cloud and also about the Sweden. We really enjoyed the discussion. I hope you also enjoyed it. So thank you once again.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.